find the local and absolute extrema for the function f of x equals x cubed minus 12x. All right, notice in this case, there is no given interval, right? So we're just going to find, well, just the critical values and then determine, essentially what's going on with this function here. Now, this is a third degree polynomial. So based on your previous experiences, we should be able to get just some rough sketch of this guy. And then we should be able to see if there's any local extrema and also determine what the absolute extrema are going to be. All right, so how do we find critical values, right? Well, we just find the first derivative and then set it equal to 0, right? So let's find it. In this case, we can just use the power rule, right? So the derivative of x cubed is 3x squared. The derivative of 12x is just 12. So we'll just go ahead and set this guy equal to 0. Let's see, I can just factor out the 3 here, right? X squared minus 4. And then we can factor this guy. So it does look like we will have two critical values here, right? We'll set x minus 2 equal to 0. We'll set x plus 2 equal to 0. So we get positive 2 and negative 2. Remember, this 3 here is not a critical value, right? It's a coefficient. It's not an x, right? So remember, we only solve for x here. All right, so what does this mean? It means that, well, a max or min value could occur at one of these 2 points, right? Remember, it's possible that there is no max or min here as well. Okay? But so that's the local, and absolute just means the very largest y value that is a part of this function and the very smallest, right? Well, let's take a look here, right? I know this is a third degree polynomial, okay? Let's see, it's positive, so I know it goes down to the left and up and to the right. Okay, I know that there are two, let's see, well, actually we should do this, right? If we factor out the x, we get x squared minus 12 is equal to 0, right? So x is equal to 0, x is equal to plus or minus the square root of 12, which is about a little bit bigger than less than 3, right? So we get about here between 3 and 4, right? So those are my x-intercepts. So I know that my graph is going to be doing a little something like this. We should be going through there, right? So go like this, come down this way at 0, and then come back up this way as well. Okay? So there is a rough picture, or a rough sketch of this function. Okay? So what are we looking for here? We're looking for these points, right? We're not looking for the x-intercepts. We're looking for these, the max and the min values. So hopefully that makes sense, right? Well, yeah, this should be negative 2 here, right? And that should be positive 2 here. Okay? So last thing we need to do is actually, well, we just actually need to go ahead and plug these guys in, right? So we get f of 2, which is going to be 2 cubed minus 12 times 2. So we get 8 minus 24, which is about negative 16, which is down there, right? That makes sense. 2 comma negative 16. And then what happens when we plug in negative 2 in here? Right, we get negative 8 plus 12 times 2, right? I already went ahead and changed that sign there, okay, which we get positive 16. Okay, so there's a local max here, negative 2 comma 16. There is a local min here, okay, at positive 2 comma negative 16. What is the absolute max and the absolute min? Well, it's a third degree polynomial that goes down and to the left and up and to the right. There's going to be no absolute max, right? Remember, the absolute max and the absolute min must be a number. So infinity does not count, right? Infinity is not a number. Okay, so we have local max and the local min, but no absolute max and no absolute min.